Good Wednesday morning. Wake up, Charlottesville. Larry Sprinkle along with Chris Mulcahy. We're here on a Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday.
Normally you're on Friday, but you know, the heat's on today.
Might as well.
Day after day, we've talked about this particular day in the forecast where there may be a couple of spots that actually reach the 100-degree mark. We're going to be in the upper 90s to near 100. Back in 2015 was the last time we actually made the 100-degree mark. So we'll maybe be close to that today. The heat's on. Oh, the other issue, by the way, is that this is a code orange day. This is unhealthy for sensitive groups. That's from Mecklenburg and Union County, North Carolina, code orange. So be aware of that. That happens between about 10 a.m. and 8 p.m., 3 to 7 this afternoon. Limit your time outside, anybody with any kind of respiratory problem. So hot today, but not the humidity like we saw last week.
Thank goodness. That makes things so much better. By the way, the whole reason why we have one of these is when it gets hot, it interacts with some of the ground level ozone and enhances it, and then that's not great. So if you're part of that sensitive group, you know who you are. That's different respiratory diseases that you may have, but still, it's a day like today. You don't want to overexert yourself. But I was out yesterday.
You were?
And, I was out golfing. I know I'm just bragging. But the thing with yesterday is 93 degrees feels great when you're not dealing with the mugginess.
Yeah. It was actually not bad. I mean, you know, when you talk about low 90s, that's kind of typical for summertime in the Carolinas. But when you tack on dew points around 70 and humidity is 80%, yeah, that's pretty uncomfortable.
And speaking of the summertime, every Wednesday we do a weather IQ. And yesterday was the first day of summer. Today's the first full day of summer, where from midnight to midnight, we're calling it summer. So let's break down some summertime stats, but then also a big question. What exactly are the dog days of summer?
It's not rough. Is it? Maybe it is.
Summer. It's the hottest time of the year, and the first day is the longest day of the year. So let's kick off the season with some summertime stats in this week's Weather IQ. The summer solstice starts most years on June 21st, but occasionally can begin on the 20th or 22nd. The Earth right now is pointing its northern hemisphere towards the sun at a 23.5-degree angle. This is when the sun makes its longest journey across the sky, which is why it's the longest day of the year. June through September is when Charlotte is at its hottest. The hottest temperature in Charlotte history is 104 degrees. This temperature so far can't be beat. This has happened 6 times. Once in 1954, back-to-back days in 2007, and 3 days in a row in 2012. Dating back to 1878, Charlotte has hit 100 degrees a total of 135 times. The hottest summer temperature recorded in North Carolina was when Fayetteville hit 110 degrees. As for South Carolina, Columbia owns that record of 113 degrees back in 2012. From June 29th to August 8th, Charlotte has an average high of 90 degrees. This also loosely correlates to the dog days of summer. That's technically from July 3rd to August 11th. Note, the dog days of summer has nothing to do with dogs being hot. This is when Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, also known as the dog star, rises and sets with the sun. The Greeks and the Romans thought the power of these two stars is why this time of year was the hottest in the northern hemisphere. This time of year is also known for thunderstorms. 75% of all the lightning strikes happen during the summer season, and 3 of the wettest months during the year happen during summer, August and June. Happy summer, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chris Mulcahy with WCNC Charlotte.
Very serious about that.
Yes.
Dog days of summer, yeah.
Dog days of summer, yeah. So it has nothing to do with your dog panting or anything. It is all about July 3rd, August 11th. That's when technically, it's really, I think, July 23rd that is the exact lineup where the dog star rises with the sun. So it's 20 days before and 20 days after that we call it the 40 days of the dog days of summer. And it's been doggone hot recently.
Well, you know, the thing is, the astronomical, that's when it started yesterday. But, you know, we start meteorological summer in the beginning of June. So it's been hot also.
Yeah, and that actually lines up better. The way that meteorologists and meteorology breaks it down is that June, July, and August are typically the hottest, and we've seen that all through June. Yeah. And back to the forecast at hand. 98 degrees. We've already hit that 3 times over the last 10 days. Today could be the 4th time that we do it, but this 98 feels much better than the ones of last week just because it's not humid.
I mean, it's going to be hot regardless, and we keep talking about 100 degrees. You know, does 99 feel cooler than 100? I don't think so.
Barely, you're splitting hairs here.
It's almost like if we could just make it to 100 so we get all that over with. Let's go ahead and take a look at your forecast for today. Mid to upper 90s, maybe 100, weather aware day because of that. But once again, as Chris was saying, we have lower dew point readings. The humidity is not as unbearable as it was a week ago. Tomorrow, not too bad. Maybe a couple thunderstorms for the weekend. Not a washout by any means. But next week, I think a little bit better coverage of really much needed rain for the month so far. We're over 2 inches below where we should be for the month of June as far as rain. So better coverage of that Monday and Tuesday of next week.
Which is great if you don't want to mow your lawn. But my lawn's starting to get crispy. So also take care of that because some of the plants might need your help because we haven't had the rain. But
I've had to water a lot of mine lately. There's some big dry spots in that lawn.
We have one plant. I don't know what it is. Kim would know this. But once it gets dry, it gets sad. It droops. And as soon as you water it, it pops back up. So, try to take the precautions. But as Larry was mentioning, we're adding more moisture by tomorrow. So we'll start feeling more humid tomorrow. Even later on tonight, you're going to notice a difference. So that's going to pop up what I like to call the Florida effect. Pretty much after 2 o'clock every afternoon, you have a chance for a pop-up thunderstorm. So better chance for that. But we're returning back to normal. We should be around 90 degrees either side thereof. At least we're not talking about the mid to the upper 90s we have. So a break from the heat.
Yeah, it's going to be at least in the upper 90s today. So stay inside, stay cool, and we'll see you this time tomorrow morning. Have a great day.
We will.